Hey guys, it's Shelby, and today I wanted to create a video that sort of incorporated all of the big ways that we create a lot of waste during the holiday season. If you guys didn't know, I think I've said this already in a video, definitely in an Instagram caption, but between Thanksgiving and Christmas, Americans' waste increases by 25%. So 1/4 of the amount of trash that we were already producing, add that on top of it, and that's how much more trash is created just during this holiday season time of year. I'm sure you can imagine why that is. Some of the big ways are parties that you host, parties that you go to, gifts that you wrap, as well as the decor that we buy and what that comes packaged in and how crappily it can be made sometimes, I'm just saying. So I'm gonna be sharing with you some tips from each of those categories in this video. It's kind of like a all-encompassing how to reduce your waste during the holidays situation. But these tips can be used for any sort of event throughout the year. It doesn't have to be the holiday season. You can use these for birthdays, weddings, Easter, I don't know, whatever suits your fancy. One more quick note before we get into this video. This video is sponsored by my good friends over at Earth Hero. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know I love them. I talk about them all the time. They're the one-stop shop on the internet for sustainability. Whether you're looking for zero waste swaps, like we will be talking about a little bit in this video, whether you're looking for some festive holiday jewelry that is made ethically and sustainably, I'm just saying, they have that over there. They also have things that are really different, like they have kids' toys on the website, and today we're gonna be talking about a Jenga game made from 100% recycled fishing nets. Earth Hero has a very intensive 5-step process to ensure that anything that ends up in their store is actually eco-friendly and not just greenwashing. Not to mention, they are part of 1% for the Planet, which is a stamp of approval I personally always look for to determine if a company is not just talking the talk, but also walking the walk. When Earth Hero ships, not only do they reuse packaging that they already had a lot of the times, but they also ship completely carbon neutral, which is amazing, especially during this time of year. I know a lot of us are shopping online for Christmas presents or to get ready for the holidays, parties, and all that sort of good stuff. So make sure you check out Earth Hero. On top of all the really cool things that they sell and swaps that they provide, you can also get 10% off with my code Shelby10. So 10% off of your purchase. They just started carrying girlfriend leggings. I mean, I'm just saying. They also just started carrying the company that makes these earrings that I found out about during my researching sustainable jewelry guide. So I'll have that linked below, but they just picked up this brand. I mean, Earth Hero is just really an amazing company. So I would love if you guys at least check them out so that you're aware next time you need to make a purchase of where you can get one sustainably and you can know kind of what they carry, but they're always getting new brands. So love it if you check them out, and let's go ahead and get into the tips I have to reduce your waste during the holiday season. So first things first is your kitchen. Obviously, a lot of our gatherings are centered around food, and there can be a lot of waste that is produced during that sort of process, obviously. So a few tips during the holiday season to reduce your overall footprint when it comes to resources, greenhouse gases, plastic waste, etc. Number one tip is to try to source your food locally. See what's around you, see what's at your farmer's market. A lot of the things that are traditional dishes during this time of year are made with seasonal fruits and veggies, but definitely check your area to see what food is being grown locally, because that will cut down on your carbon emissions for the food having to be shipped. You're also getting a chance to support a local farmer, and it's just all around better for your community overall. I have a whole video where Emmy from Sustainably Vegan and I both tried to eat only local food for a week. If you haven't seen that vlog, I'll link it right here. It was quite a test, but it's something I challenge you to do, especially during this high time of cooking. This is like the peak of cooking season, you guys. Definitely check out your local sources. Some other tips I have are specifically things you can keep in your kitchen that will help you reduce your waste whenever you're cooking in your kitchen anytime, not just during the holiday seasons. But essentials for me that I use nearly every single day in my kitchen are stasher bags. Now these are reusable silicone Ziploc bags that can replace single-use plastic baggies. I have an arsenal of them. I love my stasher drawer in my kitchen. I know exactly where they are. I know how many I have, and they never go missing. And they're always there for me when I need them. They're so supportive. No, but seriously, I do love my stasher bags. They are the most durable of all the brands I've tried. So if you're out there wondering what sort of silicone bag you should purchase, I always recommend Stasher. They don't have the cute little prints on them like some other brands do. They're not the fancy, cutesy kind maybe, but they are so sturdy and so usable. And even the first Stasher bag I ever bought, like 4 years ago now, I still have it and I still use it. So I highly recommend stasher bags because you can microwave them, you can freeze them, you can use them just in your fridge, you can use them in your pantry, and now they have ones that even stand up. So I highly always recommend stasher bags. I'm gonna have them linked below. Earth Hero does carry them, so you can pick them up with my 10% off discount, but those are something I highly recommend having in your kitchen. These first tips kind of revolve more around if you are the one hosting the party, so keep that in mind. We'll get into what happens if you're going to be going to to a party and how to reduce your waste there in just a second. But another essential that I use in my kitchen recently to make little snacks for Madison's work party is a beeswax wrap, but not a beeswax wrap because there is a company out there called Kala who actually makes a vegan version of the beeswax wraps. I also have an entire video reviewing Kala if you want to check that out. But if you've never heard me reference these wax wraps before, I will tell you guys that they are really, really helpful. They are reusable, and then once you're done with them, they are compostable. They can be reused quite a few times. I would say the last ones I had lasted me like 4 months, but I don't use them all that often. Recently, I used them to roll up some snacks for Madison's work party, like I said, but it is a really good essential to trade out for like foil or plastic wrap in your kitchen during the holiday season, and that's one way you could cut down on your waste, and something you could also gift to someone if you wanted them to reduce their waste with that. Something else to note to reduce your waste around food during the holiday season is to know how much to make. There are a lot of people out there who way overcook, and as much as someone might like leftovers, a lot of times those items get thrown away. So make sure you know what portions you're supposed to be cooking. I'm gonna step aside because I actually found a great guide online to help you understand the portions that you should be making for how many people you're going to be having. So screenshot this, use it to the best of your abilities if it's helpful, and just try to be more mindful of how much you're making during this holiday season so that we can avoid food waste in that way at all costs. And another thing you can do, which I'm really excited I'm going to be doing for my holidays family events this year, is put a compost bin out for the food scraps. So much food gets wasted around this time of year. I'm sure that's a huge reason why our waste increases so much, because there's a ton of food waste. Don't let that be the case at your next family gathering. Be the one who brings some sort of bin to put compost in. It doesn't have to be a fancy one, although Earth Hero does sell the nice little stainless steel ones for your countertop, but it doesn't have to be that. It can just be a bin that you can collect things in and then take outside when everybody's done. And one more thing that your guests should know before they come is that they should bring Tupperware so that they can take home leftovers if there are any. You don't want to have to be giving up your Tupperware. No one's going home with my glass Tupperware with bamboo lids. Not only do you not have to give up your Tupperware or your food storage containers, excuse me, not Tupperware, but not only do you have to give yours up, but you don't have to worry about more food going to waste because you couldn't eat all the leftovers yourself. So remind your guests to bring their own when you send out invitations or those reminder texts. Now, Shelby, what if I'm going out to a party? What do I do about solo cups, utensil sets, plates? Well, I have news for you. I've never been one to just go ahead and say, oh, forget it when I'm at a holiday party. I just will use disposables and look the other way. No, it's actually really simple. The same thing you do when you go out to a restaurant when you bring your own straw or your own utensil set. You can do the same thing with your friends and family. Now, you can bring your own, which is the easiest for me because sometimes I don't want to ask someone where their stuff is, don't want to have to clean my dishes in their house. I just bring my own and it's not a problem. Some items that I think could be really helpful specifically during the holiday season are stainless steel tumblers. So if you're having punch or beer or any other sort of drink, you can just bring along one of your stainless steel tumblers and bring that to the party so that it's the same size and like look of a solo cup without having to carry around a water bottle or something that really makes you stand out. I've had these Clean Canteen stainless steel tumblers for a while because they're really versatile. They're the only cups I've ever actually bought. Most of my cups in my pantry are just reused glass jars, but when you have kids at your house, you're not giving them glass jars, guys. Or just in general, when you have a lot of people at your house, you're not giving them glass. Or when you're going to someone's party, you're not gonna take a glass jar. So I take one of these and it's super simple. They do sell these on Earth Hero, like I said. You can get them with my discount code if you find that they would be really helpful. Obviously, you could also like thrift cups, but I just really like these because they're something that's very sturdy and I'll be able to keep for the rest of my life. They're a great replacement also if you wanna play beer pong, but with reusable cups. I mean, I'm not saying I've ever done that, but I'm just saying. Obviously, a utensil set is essential around this time of year. You can bring something from home, of course, but I always recommend these because they stay in my backpack. They're really lightweight and they're easy to travel with. So I do have one of these utensil sets. This one is specifically Earth Hero's brand because someone stole my other one that I had for a very long time. I was very upset about that. But these are great to have around this time of year to avoid any plastic cutlery that might be at your family gatherings. And that's actually a question I have. Do most of your families use disposables or do they use reusables? My family personally just uses all across the board disposables in any way you can think of. Whenever it's my turn to host Thanksgiving dinner, things are gonna be very different. But not being afraid to bring your own supplies is the perfect resolution to any of the things that you might be worried about during, you know, the holiday season. Now, a tip for if you are hosting or if you are going to someone's house, maybe you can make the suggestion for them, is if you are going to use disposables, make them compostable. So there are disposables out there, like literally styrofoam plates. My family used to buy those. Eventually I said, hey, I know I can't convince you to use reusables because you think doing dishes is just like too much of a chore, but can we at least get compostable plates so that I can take them home and compost them? So that's where we're at now. We have compostable plates. They're paper plates. They're really easy to find literally anywhere, and they're much more kind to our environment. So if you're going to resort to disposables, at least choose compostables. And I think Earth Hero has a few different brands on their site that I'll link below for compostable disposables at parties if that's what you're looking for. If you are going to someone's house and you are bringing a dish, I highly recommend having a stainless steel tiffin. They're just the easiest way to bring multiple things in different tiers so that they don't all touch. You can keep them separate, and it's just the easiest way to carry things around, I think. Every single time I talk about my tiffins, someone asks me where they're from. Every time I go out somewhere and I use my tiffins, people want to know where they're from. They're from Earth Hero. They're by a brand called To Go Wear. But I just think they're very easy to carry around, very simple, and I highly recommend using them during the holiday season to keep things separate and keep things neat. Earth Hero also carries the Klean Kanteen brand, which I plan to use for hot things. So if you're making a soup, or if you're making mulled wine, whatever it is, or if you want to keep something cold. I guess you could use this if you wanted to bring ice cream, but this is just a thermos by Klean Kanteen that they sell on Earth Hero. It keeps anything you need hot or cold. This is going to be a really easy thing for me to use during the party I'm going to in a couple weeks to keep things hot or cold. And I also have a Klean Kanteen, which is my coffee cup that I take everywhere, just depending on what kind of party you're having. If you're having mulled wine, you want to keep it warm. If you're having coffee, put it in here. I mean, I don't know what your life does, but a Klean Kanteen is essential, and I got this one on Earth Hero as well. Now, moving on from things that have to do with food, because obviously food is a huge part of this, but there are things beyond food, you guys. There is life beyond food, okay? We already talked a little bit about my cups that I use for beer pong. I may or may not use for reusable beer pong. That is one game you can play during the holiday season, but a game I recently found is Jenga. Now, you probably know what Jenga is. I know, you've heard of Jenga before, but there's a twist on this. The actual Jenga brand started making some of their blocks, some of their games, with 100% recycled fishnets. I mean, I'm just as surprised as you are. I thought this would have been by a different brand when I found out about these, that was making these, but this is actually by the Jenga brand, and they use 100% recycled fishnets to make these. So there's not like some fishnets in here like make up 5% of the cubes. No, this is 100% recycled fishing nets, an ocean-friendly game. So it plays the same way Jenga does, but this is a game that is made from ocean waste, which I just think is so cool, and this packaging was just so stinking cute. I'm excited. I'm putting this in my car to bring to all of the family events and the friend events that I have coming up. This is just an easy game to whip out anywhere that pretty much everyone can enjoy. You can have unlimited players. It's very, very simple. I did get this on Earth Hero. I'm just really excited to see brands like taking waste out of the ocean and turning it into something that is functional and exciting. I get very excited when I see average run-of-the-mill companies doing stuff like this. So this is a really great game you can play during the holiday season, but it would also make a great gift for someone who's as nerdy as me. Just saying. And aside from reusable beer pong and the fishnet Jenga game, one game that I always like to play, and all you have to do is get some like scrap paper and pencils to play this game. It's called Telephone Pictionary. If you've never played Telephone Pictionary, you have to try it. It's fun for all ages, literally like my 5-year-old cousins up to my dad love this game. And it's basically you start out at a table. Everyone has however many pieces of paper is the amount of people at the table, well, half. So if you have 8 people, you have 4 pieces of paper, you use the front and the back. And you start out with a drawing. So you draw whatever you want, you imagine it up. You draw something, you pass it to the next person, and they have to write what they think they saw you draw. And then every other way, so it's like someone sees it, they write it. Someone reads the writing, they draw it. And by the time it gets back to you, it's just hilarious, and you just read it out to your friends and your family. It is one of the best games I've ever played at like gatherings. And like I said, it never disappoints for all ages. So Telephone Pictionary, everybody. It's very simple. All you have to have is some scrap paper. Now, decorations. If you've been following along over on the vlog channel, you know that I don't have a lot of decorations, but I have a few, and just some ideas that you can use that I've been trying out. So I went to my local tree like sales place just to get some cuttings that maybe they didn't use on their trees that they had to cut off of the trees, you know? And I found out that they make their wreaths from secondhand scraps as well, like what they're cutting off the trees. So I bought a wreath, which used zero resources because it was a waste product of the trees anyway. So I was really happy to get that. And then I had my assistant make me a little advent calendar for Vlogmas over on the vlog channel, but she just used some tweed or twine, some twine. She used twine for the string, and then she reused some toilet paper rolls to make the envelopes, and then I stringed up a little advent calendar that kind of looks like garland on my mantle. I also thrifted 2 stockings for Madison and myself, and then we made homemade glue and used Epsom salt to make some harvested pine cones look snowy, and I haven't completed that craft as of this moment, but maybe by the time I post this video, I'll have B-roll for you. So those are just some ideas. Really, the only tip I have is to get creative, not to just go out and buy whatever is in the generic stores, put it in your house. Go to the thrift stores. Obviously, they have a lot of resources for decorations there. And go out into nature because they have a lot of great things there as well. Aside from that, candles are a huge part of decorations and just part of the holiday season in general. So Earth Hero has a few brands that I would recommend checking out that make their candles with eco-friendly materials, soy wax instead of paraffin wax, and things like that. United by Blue is one of my favorite brands on the internet, and they actually started making a candle, which seemed kind of random for them, but I lit it earlier today and it was fantastic. The other brands are Sonari and PF Candle, and I'll have them linked below if you're looking for a more eco-friendly candle for your house this time of year. I personally highly recommend scents that smell like Christmas trees because I don't have a Christmas tree, but I kind of want my house to smell like a Christmas tree, so I bought the Christmas tree scents, okay? And they were really good. Now that we've talked about hosting a party, going to a party, games, and decorations, something else that creates a lot of waste is wrapping presents. Did you guys know that most wrapping paper can't even be recycled because it is paper covered in plastic? It's laminated with plastic. So in that case, they can't separate the plastic from the paper, and that whole entire thing cannot even be recycled. It's incredibly wasteful, but rest assured there are solutions. Obviously, you can reuse things that you've gotten in packages throughout the year. I usually wrap some of my gifts in my Who Gives a Crap toilet paper wrapping. That's a really great idea. You can use reusables, so bags are reusable. You can also use scarves to tie up presents. I've talked about all of this before in a video I'll link right here about sustainable wrapping. It was a video dedicated to just that, including how to wrap without tape. But if you are looking to purchase wrapping paper from a more sustainable brand, there is a brand sold on Earth Hero called Rapidly. So they actually recycle local newspapers and make that into their wrapping paper. Something I really appreciate about Earth Hero as a company is that every single thing on their website has a sustainability features little tab on the page. So when I want to know why is wrapping paper on Earth Hero's website, how is that eco-friendly, I just go here and I reference Rapidly utilizes available local newspaper presses to print their unique gift wraps. It's printed on recycled newsprint, and they use soy-based ink, and it is completely made in the US, and at the end of its life it can be recycled. So rest assured, if you are looking for a more eco-friendly brand to wrap your presents like Rapidly, you can turn to Earth Hero and brands that they have over there. All right, and I think that is it for how to reduce your waste during the holiday seasons. Did I miss any big topics? I don't think I did. I think hosting parties, going to parties, activities, decorations, and wrapping paper are all the essentials. I already have videos about wrapping paper. I know that is a huge one. I've been getting a lot of requests to do it, but I'm not going to remake one this year because I have one from last year you can go check out. I can't link it right here because I already linked it, but I'll link it in the description. You guys can go check it out. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having an awesome holiday season. Give me a thumbs up if you like my festive. You couldn't even see my earrings, could you? But I feel very festive today in my green silky dress and my festive holiday earrings. I just felt like I did the thing, okay? So give me a thumbs up, please. My goodness. I'm just kidding. Thank you so much to Earth Hero for sponsoring this video. If you guys are looking for any zero waste swaps for the holiday season, fun games, gifts, whatever it is, Earth Hero has a ton of resources for you. Check the links in the description, and don't forget to use code Shelby10 for 10% off of your entire purchase. So until next time, remember, you cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that you can do, because waste increases during this time of year 25% between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we need to do all we can to reduce it. You guys like those little weird outros I do sometimes when I just like blurt out things? Yeah. Okay. I feel I'm gonna relight my candle. I want it to smell like a Christmas tree again.